very good evening to you all and welcome to the Hamza Kasongo Hour. My guest for this show is the former Prime Minister of Madagascar, Monja Roendefo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You were in Dar es Salaam during the SADC meeting, which took place on the 7th and 8th of December 2012. In what capacity did you attend this meeting?
Well, I did not attend directly the meeting, but at the margin of the meeting, I had some interaction with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Tanzania, His Excellency Membe, and the topic was surrounding the resolution of crisis in Madagascar, and especially about the resolutions to be taken by the heads of state of SADC.
Yeah. Did we have any other representatives from Madagascar, say from the government?
Normally, SADC has invited the president of the High Authority of Transition in Madagascar, but apparently he has declined this invitation. And the former president, Ravalomanana, also apparently has been invited. And I think that they have sent some representatives here. And myself, I could talk and meet with the Minister of Foreign Affairs to express our views as a signatory of the roadmap and as the political stakeholders involved in this crisis resolution in Madagascar, and as having been also Prime Minister of Madagascar during the transition after the former President Ravalomanana. That means that I've been the first Prime Minister of the transition in Madagascar.
Yeah. As we are having this discussion here, not many Tanzanians know anything at all about Madagascar. In that case, would you then very briefly tell us about your country?
Yeah, and for that reason that I requested to meet with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Tanzania, because Tanzania is playing a great role now to sort out this problem in Madagascar. As you know, Madagascar is a country in the Indian Ocean, and it's not well known, though within the SADC, among the SADC countries, and even in the newspapers, when I could read some newspapers here in Tanzania, the same statement of SADC, the report of the same statement of SADC, they emphasized on the problem of DRC and Zimbabwe, and just two lines on Madagascar. And I think that Tanzania is playing a great role now to solve this problem.
Yeah, and before we come to the problem, okay, the country is in Indian Ocean. What is the population?
The population is 20 million inhabitants. It's a quite a big island, almost 600,000 square kilometers. And we are a member of the SADC, though now our status is in standby. And we are a member also of the Indian Ocean Commission. And normally Madagascar, since this crisis now, is undergoing a critical situation. And like most of all African countries, Madagascar has some substantial mineral resources. We have different crops also in terms of agriculture. Normally and naturally, as being an island, Madagascar is a destination for tourism also. But for these last 3 years, we have been suffering. And we have big mining companies also sometimes, like in other countries in Africa. But the resources, the fiscal income all from this is not sufficient to relaunch our economy development. So, well, Madagascar, the population is a little bit a mixture of African and I would say Asian type of population, and sometimes we are not considered by the Asian to be Asian country, but also not considered by the African as African country.
So you are in the middle.
We are in the middle, and maybe for that reason the resolution of the problem in Madagascar also takes a long time to be resolved.
Yeah. Okay, you have said the political crisis, you have said the political problem. What is it about? Because from the two lines that we read about Madagascar, we have seen quite a number of changes of government by force.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, the former president Ravalomanana.
No, but you know,
Yeah.
before we talk of Rwanda, because there are people who are students of history here, what was, you know, immediately after you attained your independence, what happened to that government?
Yeah, during the independence, as you know, we won the independence in 1960.
Yes.
And but in 1947 there was a national rebellion against the French colonialists, and the party that I lead now, because I am also a chief of a party, has been created during this colonial time and has been the party, the Liberation Party of Madagascar. But when we came at the 1960, the French colonizers preferred to hand over the authorities, administrative authorities, to a party that they have sponsored and created, that we called a neo-colonial authority in Madagascar. And from 1960, it has ruled in Madagascar until 1972. And in 1971, my party has led...
No, but in 1962, and when did you have elections, or it was a coup d'etat?
In 1972, it was a popular movement, and the army took over that time.
You mean the popular movement, there is a difference of coup d'etat, whether it's by the army or by the people?
Well, because even in the Charter of the African Union, sometimes it is stated somewhere there that the people has the right to resist against the dictatorship.
Right.
So when the democracy does not work and stifled, and when all the institutions are not properly working, the checks and balance is not there. So sometimes it's a little bit difficult. And myself, for example, I was running for presidential elections in 2006 against Mark Ravalomanana, and he did not bring my ballot papers into the polling stations.
Yeah, that one shall come later. So who was the first prime minister
Of
Madagascar? You know, who was removed by this popular movement?
in
72.
In 72, the system, the constitution that time did not have a prime minister, but president and vice president. And it was the first president of Madagascar, Philibert Tsiranana. But by that time, our party had a link with the ruling party in Tanzania, and we received a lot of works from the president Julius Nyerere, and this Pan-Africanism, and I remember even as a youth member of my party, we were educated of the Ujamaa philosophy, even in Madagascar. So even during that time, we knew already Tanzania, and we had the relationship, the Pan-Africanism, the anti-colonialism, and I am within this tradition of politics in Madagascar.
Yeah. So after 72, what happened?
After 72, there was an interim government led by the General Ramanantsoa at that time, and he formed a government of technicians, and where the Monima party, after the rebellion of Madagascar, played a great role too. And we claimed at that time the annulling of the cooperation accord with France, which stated that time that we did not have the right to have relationship and cooperation with other countries than only through, but only through France. So Ratsiraka at that time has been appointed, the former president also of Madagascar during the Second Republic, has been appointed as Minister of Foreign Affairs that time, and he accepted with the General Ramananchua of the claim of the Liberation Movement Party like our party, and they negotiated and annulled the cooperation agreement with France. And from that time, we resumed the relationship freely with a different part of Africa, and we resumed the relationship with all the liberation movement, but especially with China and Russia and the other socialist countries. And we started to send students to study in these countries that time, which now form, I would say, more or less 40 to 45% of our educated people in Madagascar.
Yeah. Then after the general, for how long did the general rule?
The general ruled only 2 years, and there was a colonel who challenged his power. It was the Minister of Interior at that time, and this colonel remained 11 days in powers and has been killed. And after that, there was a military directory which led the country, and Ratsiraka emerged from this the military directory, and supported by nationalist party like Monima by that time. And there was an election, a general election in 1975, and Ratsiraka became the second second elected. The first elected yes. President in Madagascar in 1975. Then this was the period of socialism in Madagascar, but as you know, Pan-Africanism, African socialism, Madagascar socialism, and scientific socialism, Marxism socialism, all of this has created some discrepancy of views, in fact, because the main thing was that the Malagasy life has not changed, if not deteriorated. And the party, like our party that time also, has told to Ratsiraka this was not the socialism we have convened for. We don't accept anymore this kind of governance in Madagascar, and we were against that time also the loans from the World Bank, which served only the interests of the donors, not the recipient. So there was these tensions, in fact, but though Ratsiraka remained there until 1989, and there was let's say a coalition, and the new coalition and opposition, and until 1989.
So this coalition, it was as it were the government of national unity. Did it include all parties?
It depends on the time.